Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Glenn Griffin, Vice President and Digital Commerce Manager, and I'm excited to be joined today by Dave Monsell, the owner of Action Payroll, our payroll partner. Momentarily, we'll get right into the payroll service that we offer, but I do want to recap. This is our fifth segment in our Facebook Live series, sharing our business solutions with you. We kicked it off with merchant services, our credit card processing. And then we've added business online banking, positive pay fraud protection, as well as online wires. And then 2 weeks ago at the same time at 11 o'clock, we discussed our automated clearinghouse, or ACH, electronic payment service. So as I said, we're excited to be here to talk about payroll. Keep in mind, as we've gone through these videos, if you missed any of our old videos, you can certainly view those, ask questions, and add comments in the comments section. We do monitor those on a regular basis, and we'll be happy to follow up with any questions that you have there and have a conversation. As we go through the video today, we will stop and pause and take your questions and answer those, and then also provide some time at the end for any follow-up questions. Keep in mind, you can reach the digital commerce team to talk about any of our business solutions that we offer at 800-564-3195, and the team extension is 2777. You can email us directly at digitalcommerce@thefirst.com as well. And then, of course, visit any of our branches and also visit us online. So those are the different ways you can contact us. As we mentioned before, we would love to have a conversation with you about any of our solutions, and certainly have a free consultation when it comes to merchant services and what we speak about today with our payroll service. Before I hand it over to Dave to get a little bit more in depth, I just want to share, the reason that we partnered with Dave Monsell and Action Payroll is because, his story and his core beliefs are the same as the bank's. So when we talk about things like accountability, respect, being friendly, focused on the community, being dedicated, trustworthy, and conducting business with integrity. And those are kind of the handful of things that come front of mind when we talk about the digital commerce team at First National Bank, and then directly align with Dave and his values at Action Payroll. So with all that being said, I will take a breath and hand it over to Dave.
Thank you, Glenn. Good morning to everyone that's viewing today. I'd like to first off thank Glenn and the First National Bank for the amazing opportunity to partner with the bank. As Glenn has said, we've been partnered for a little bit over 2 years now. Tremendous opportunity for us. We've done really well servicing our mutual clients up to this point, and have a bright future ahead of us. I briefly wanted to talk about the history of our company, and then we can talk about the different service options that are available, and then open it up to questions. So our company was started by my father in 1995. My father is a retired certified public accountant servicing businesses of all sizes, who saw a need for jumping into the payroll space for a couple of reasons. A couple that come to mind were clients really were being underserviced and overcharged, experiencing very long hold times, not getting answers to their questions, and really felt like they were a number in large, kind of a large conglomerate payroll space. In the year 2000, I just to kind of back up a little bit, my experience ranges from being a financial analyst for some very large corporations in Massachusetts. I was presented an opportunity in 2000 to join my father's company and try to grow that company and expand it away from the accounting practice that he eventually sold. So I've been involved for over 20 years. I'm the owner of the company now, servicing clients throughout the Northeast. The business started in Connecticut, and I've lived in Maine with my family since 2006 with my wife. My wife was born and raised in Freeport. So I have an office in Brunswick. Very fortunate to partner with the bank a couple of years ago, and I'm kind of happy where this relationship is to date, and very excited once the pandemic clears of where we're going to be in the next year or two. So.
Yeah, totally agree. Thanks, Dave. And, quickly we'll touch on our client base as well. So, we're able to cover anything from the small nonprofits which we have many of those, as well as covering the municipality space and large, small corporates everywhere in between as well. We have some that are multi-state,
Sure.
33 locations, several hundred folks, including right up to 1,100 folks, I think is our largest one. So we're able to offer many solutions that the large payroll companies can offer at kind of a small town type mindset.
For sure.
So we do have some questions rolling in, Dave.
Okay.
The first one is my business too small? And in the comments it says 5 people.
Sure.
You can take that one.
No, absolutely not too small. We have clients, a lot of small S corps that are 1-2 person type outfit, up through 1,100. We have another business that has over 300 employees. So you're never too small for a payroll service. If you are, other than a sole proprietor, at every single type of business entity has to have a payroll service. So whether it's 1 or 1,100, we have the bandwidth to be able to service clients of all sizes. But we're not too large where we're going to lose that personal touch. I will tell you that every business owner and key employee, whether it's an administrator or controller, has my cell phone. And emergencies do come up. There's some things from a confidentiality perspective that do come up, and that's the added touch that we provide. So hopefully that answers that question.
And I think it builds upon the next question. It says, what makes Action different from other payroll service providers? And I think we've hit on a lot of those. I know I mentioned some, and you have as well.
Sure. I mean, I think what it really comes down to is I'm one of the owners of this business. I am heavily involved in the day-to-day of this business, and I take it very seriously because I have a vested interest in the business. My sister is the manager of one of my offices, also has a vested interest in making sure that we meet people's needs and retain business. Because if we lose business, the money's coming right out of my pocket. So that's a key differentiator between our business and a public company.
And I would add upon that as well, Dave, the relationship that we built together, with the bank being involved, we have a lot of, ways that we can move money quickly as well.
Sure.
So, we give that flexibility when an emergency does come into play. We've got a couple different options there. So I think that's, that's something we've definitely heard from folks that's been a good benefit. And I would say is definitely a differentiator when it comes to this payroll service that we offer.
Sure, and it has occurred on many occasions, and the beauty of this relationship is I can call Glenn, or Cam or Jeff or Juliet if there's ever an emergency, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that the team's going to help us, which in turn helps the mutual client customer. So it's a great avenue. I've dealt with other vendors, and I've never had the level of service that we have with the first.
And then let's talk a little about the different the front end solutions. So when you talk about timekeeping and the employee self-service and some of those things, Dave, you want to
Sure.
that up?
Sure. So there are many. First off, everything is internet based. Everything is secure and encrypted. So some businesses will opt to have a key person or key player, an admin or a controller. Some of the smaller businesses, the business owner may actually input the payroll through the secure portal system. We have other businesses that allow their employees to enter their own time through what's called employee self-service, also have visibility into their own check stub, edit their own W-4s through employee self-service, subject to review from an administrator at the business. So that ensures accountability and accuracy and those kinds of things. We also have an integrated solution with a company called TimeRack. It's a time clock solution. One of our biggest customers that's on that service now has, again, over 300 employees in 33 locations throughout the state of Maine. So it's a great system. The integration is amazing. It's accurate. I would say it's a great price point, and Glenn and his team are supporting that effort with TimeRack now. I don't know if you want to expand upon that a little bit, Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're excited to have the time clock with TimeRack. It's all integrated, as we've said, with payroll, so it's a very solid front end service. So for time and attendance, it's a great scheduling module that comes incorporated as well. So you can really have an efficient scheduling module that rolls right into right into payroll.
Sure.
And Time Rack is always updating the technology. We've added a human resources piece, which is huge. It's the same platform as the time clock is on. So it really is just, it's cutting edge technology. It's efficiency. It's at a good price point, to Dave's point. And really, if you want to manage everything from, you can do expense reimbursements, performance reviews, benefits tracking, equipment tracking, workers' comp claims, as well as any certifications and trainings. So, I mean, that's just touching upon some of those features that we have. So, when you step back and think about payroll and some of the national companies, the partnership that we have with Dave and his team, and then adding the time clock functionality, it really is leading class technology with, again, that small town feel like we've talked about, that we provide on a daily basis. So we're excited about that, and the digital commerce team is the service that you're gonna see with the time clock, with all of the admin pieces, with all the service and the installation as well.
Sure. And the flexibility piece too, Glenn, real quick, with the time clock. So traditionally, most businesses would have a physical time clock on the wall, and that still can be done, but that doesn't suit all businesses. Kind of as the market has changed, a lot of people aren't coming into a physical office, so there are options that accommodate and offer that flexibility through that system. There's geofencing. There's mask recognition as well, which is huge in this environment. People can log in through a smartphone. So if you have salespeople on the road, it's very, very flexible, and highly recommended from an efficiency standpoint.
Yeah, great point. And the other piece as well, if you don't want to buy a physical time clock or lease, we do have the flexibility, to Dave's point, of having a central PC located, an iPad, and then, like we say, with the iPhone. So there's a multitude of flexibility that this provides, and it provides, what we've seen with the business owners that are wearing 17 hats is the efficiency and the ability to manage something very quickly, accurately, and effectively, so that you can focus your time on what you really should be mattered.
For sure.
And
I've seen some companies that have made comments like as follows. Payroll takes 2 days, 2.5 days. There should be no reason that payroll should take 2 to 2.5 days. With the proper equipment and proper service options, payroll shouldn't take any more than a couple of hours for a very, very large organization. So we're here to help try to cut that down at a good price point, and let people do what they do best and outsource the rest, right? So if you're in a restaurant, you're an expert at being able to run that restaurant. Outsource to the experts, and you'll save money in the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Dave, we've got a bunch of questions coming in. So
Sure.
What services does this include? Extra deductions, tracking vacation, etc.
Sure. So if you basic services would be typical online capability, whether it's entering via an administrator or an employee self-service, and then any deductions that you have for your business. Common deductions might be a 401k or a retirement plan, simple IRA for smaller businesses, pre-tax medical, health insurance. There's a lot of AFLAC type employee-based, insurance products that can be accommodated. Really soup to nuts. We can include anything in that price. W-2s, 1099s are included as well in the price. Again, if a business exploded in growth from 10 employees to 20 or 25 employees, obviously we're going to have a conversation about restructuring price. But typically, we're not in the nickel and dime business. This is a retention-based business. This is a word-of-mouth growth business, so we want happy customers.
Yeah, and the other piece to that, to build upon what you said, Dave, is that we charge one price. So let's say it's $50 a payroll, that's what it is for every payroll throughout the year. There's
Right.
no extra cost for quarterlies or year-end processing. So that's a couple of the differences that I think we employ here. And then I think you touched on it, but can employees log in and see their information, including W-2s?
Yes, they can. So all of that information loads electronically. Once payroll is processed, check stubs immediately go up to the employee portal for viewing, and that hierarchical tree will build as the year goes on. So each time you get paid, you'll see check stub history, which uh, helps the employer on the other side, right? Because a lot of times without employee self-service, employees are coming to the key person at the business, and it kind of bogs down their time. So this is a great service offering if someone's looking for a mortgage, a refinance, or something that requires check stub history. All of the information is there. So one other quick thing, Glenn, I wanted to bring up from
And then one other question just came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can this integrate with my accounting program? And then in parentheses said QuickBooks.
Yes, we do have QuickBook integration features, either transactional history or a standard journal entry.
And to add, we do take that one by one because there's different references to QuickBooks. There's different versions. So
Right.
Any of those we can take as a one-off, and certainly take a look at that. But
Sure.
As a rule, anything that goes into the payroll system can be extracted for whatever
Correct.
accounting.
That's right. One other thing, Glenn, I just wanted to touch upon quickly. If there are any business owners that are listening on this call today, as a business owner, including myself, you're always thinking about cash flow, right? And the collection of outstanding receivables, preserving cash. And so the business model that my dad designed back in 1995 is a simple business model, but it's a stark contradiction to what a lot of our national competitors do and how they operate. The national competitors like to impound funds, which basically means they draw out the entire liability of the payroll the day after the payroll is reported, which puts a lot of financial pressure on small businesses to have collected receivables faster. Our model is different than that. Client funds are not impounded. Checks are written on the client's account. So in particular, tax payments, clients have up to 5 days to be able to collect outstanding receivables to cover those tax liabilities. Huge advantage for small business. So I just wanted to bring that up today. If there's any business owners that may be listening, if you're looking to improve your cash position, this is a model that you should look at.
Great. And then how many days before payday do I need to have all my information submitted? And I think as a general rule, we'd like a couple of days, Dave, would be there.
The earlier the better, Glenn, because things happen. There could be, I'm thinking of businesses just off the top of my head where there could be commissions that come in for a salesperson. Maybe if you're in the automobile business, or you're an attorney, or any commission-based restaurant, tips maybe. There could be a discrepancy on tips. So the longer the window that we have, the better, because we can make adjustments. So, absolutely. But typically 2 to 3 business days before payroll, not counting bank holidays.
And then I'll talk about exceptions and emergencies as well, because I think that's an important part to this partnership and the benefit of going through our payroll. So if we do have an emergency, something happens, you don't have that window. You don't have 48 or 72 hours window. If something comes up the last second, we do have some flexible options here in order to be able to move that money and get people paid quickly as well. Again, we take that on an exception basis, but we do have some of those options that really can move money quickly as need be,
Mhm.
which again, emergencies are going to happen, mistakes are going to happen. So we're able to, to handle those.
Yeah, and it's great because we're all dealing with softwares, we're dealing with high-speed internet. Things do happen, so to have that flexibility again, to kind of echo what you're saying, is a massive advantage, and it's an advantage that we didn't have, quite frankly, prior to the relationship that we have with the first. So,
And then here's a couple as well. How long does it take to set up the system? And along with that, how do I make sure standard and any other deductions are accurate?
so it depends on the size of the business. Really, I mean, so there's quite a difference between adding on a business that has 2 or 3 employees, which can be turned around in a day, um, to 400 or 500 employees, obviously. So depending on when the transition starts, what we have to do is we have to tie out every individual. So we'll gather the employer information first, do all the registrations, which doesn't take more than a day or two, and then we'll start the reconciliation process, to tie out every single person's earnings to the penny before we start. So it really depends on the size of the business, but I would say typically less than a week, as long as the customer is, timely in getting us the information that we need.
Sure. And the other piece to the flexibility in the service we offer is getting that information. You have the team here at the bank, you have Dave's team, so there's again a multitude of options to get that information to us in a secure, efficient fashion.
Sure.
And just to add, so on the standard deductions, Dave, how are those accurate? And I think that's really falls on your team, right?
Sure.
When it comes to accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, 401k plans, simple IRAs, Section 125 plans, also called cafeteria plans, very, very standard. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I'm not going to sit here and say we know the answers to everything. But if there are certain situations where I don't know an answer, I will be honest and say we need to research that and get back to you. But we are never going to put a customer in a risky situation where, if we don't know the answer to something, we're not going to start. If earnings are not tied out for whatever reason, we're not going to start. So, and it's just as simple as that. Accuracy is paramount to the relationship. So, and compliance is paramount. If our job is to keep customers in compliance with the IRS and the state of Maine. And really what that means is just keeping the taxing agencies and authorities out of your hair so you can run your business.
For sure. And then we've got some more questions. What if I make a mistake and I'll couple this with another one? Is it possible to get a payroll check in the middle of a pay period? Because I think they kind of go together.
Sure. So it is, in a lot of cases, if it's just, one mistake, depending on where the business is located, businesses in Maine can mandate direct deposit. So a lot of the deals that we have, in conjunction with Glenn and his team, we have 100% participation in direct deposit. So with the flexibility that Glenn has through their online platform, we can turn around direct deposits in a pinch pretty quickly. So, if it's next day, I mean, there are cutoffs, but we will communicate to the customer what the cutoff is, but we do our very best to accommodate customers. So that is really not a big issue for us. If there's an issue, mistake, whether it's our mistake or the client's mistake, to rectify it.
Yeah, and to add on that, I mean, we can certainly, like David mentioned earlier, with commissions, some of the different ways that businesses pay their folks. They might have a check or a payroll run that's out of the regular cycle, and we can certainly handle that.
Sure.
That's no problem. We have a lot of those where people are paying extra bonuses and things of that nature. What if employees live in different states, Dave?
Yeah, so we have a lot of those. And we have calculations that we can establish and set up to dictate where the taxation is going to take place. But typically, people are taxed where the revenue is earned. So, but that's not an issue. We've dealt multi-state for many years, so not a problem at all.
And what if my company grows? Can this payroll system grow with us?
Sure. Like I said earlier, we have many customers that have 1 or 2 employees up through 1,100. And with the functionality of time clocks, as you start to get larger, onboarding is paramount. Benefit tracking, accruals, vacation, PTO, those kinds of things, scheduling, all can be accommodated through time clock integration.
Absolutely. And that is the last question I have right now. So
Okay.
before we wrap up, Dave, do you have anything to add at this point?
I don't think so. I would just encourage people to ask questions offline if you have them. Obviously, Glenn and his team are available, and we'd love to have more conversations. We'd love the opportunity just to sit and have a conversation with people and answer any questions or concerns that they may have. And I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate the invitation today to speak with Glenn and the audience at the first. It's a great opportunity, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. And the one thing I wanted to add, some of the national payroll providers, we've noticed they'll package in their retirement plans with payroll. And I would just say that we do work hand in hand with First National Investment Services to be able to offer retirement plans as well. We don't speak directly for that piece of the business, but we can certainly partner there. So that is something that we can do as kind of a quote unquote package deal as well. And we've seen some of those be successful because, again, some of those national providers offer those types of things. So I guess what I'm saying is, we're able to really fill the whole gamut of things that businesses need. And again, we try to do that with a local service in mind. So we do want to thank everyone for joining us today. As you're watching this video down the road, if you have questions, again, please comment those. We will get back to those as we monitor all the videos, as I've said. Keep in mind, we do have Juliet St. Clair joining me on November 24th at 11 a.m. So 2 weeks from today, we're going to talk about our remote deposit capture product. But I'll back up just for a second. To recap, I'm Glenn Griffin, Vice President, Digital Commerce Manager. And as you've seen, Dave Monsell, the owner of Action Payroll, very excited with our payroll partner there. So thank you for your time today. Please reach out to us. You can call us at 800-564-3195, extension 2777 to get directly to the digital commerce team. We're happy to have those conversations with you. You can email us directly if that's easier at digitalcommerce@thefirst.com. And of course, visit any branches or our website. So thanks again, everyone. And we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you.